The man added 80,000 to the bride's dowry on the wedding day, but the bride's male best friend took the red envelope and looked annoyed. He opened it and counted just 80,000 inside, then immediately scolded the groom. The woman in the car didn't want to argue. She said the groom had sold his car and had no money left. Then the best friend complained again, said a house and a car were basic for a wedding, and selling the car for the dowry only hurt the woman. Surprisingly, the bride agreed with him. The man had cut ties with his billionaire father to marry her, and had worked his way up from nothing. He arranged the engagement party, thinking he could finally be happy, but the bride showed up with her best friend, and suddenly raised the dowry from 66,000 to 888,000. The best friend spoke first, leaving both the man and the bride in shock. She tried to stop him, but he interrupted, said she was the prettiest girl on campus, that guys lined up across campus just to chase her, and since she was from the city, she'd inherit her parents' wealth. A dowry of 66,000 was way too low. The man, to show his sincerity, gave her all his savings cards, but the best friend kept pressing, said salary cards should be handed over anyway, and that the dowry still had to be 888,000. The bride didn't object. She was even taken into the car by her best friend, then told the groom, no matter if he borrows or steals, he had to make up the money today. With no choice, the man sold his brand new car, and came up with another 80,000. Right then, his father arrived in a luxury car, stood in the distance and listened to everything silently. The bride saw he only brought 80,000, and her face turned cold, even though she knew he earned just over 10,000 a month, and could only save around 100,000 at most. She never realized he had already given everything for the wedding. He even quit smoking and drinking, just to save more. When the in-laws arrived, they were furious and scolded their daughter, said the best friend was a lazy bum, and had no right to meddle in the wedding. But the woman ignored them, and still let the best friend make all the decisions. The man desperately borrowed another 100,000 from co-workers. Just as he handed over the money, the best friend made an even crazier demand, wanted a prenup, stating the man would repay the money alone, and that he owed the bride an IOU. The man finally snapped, said this was his marriage, and no one else had a say. But the bride said, whatever her best friend wanted, was what she wanted too. The man was about to give in, and sign just to keep the wedding, but at that moment, his father finally walked over. The best friend thought he was just a regular guy, and said as the groom's father, he hadn't even brought a gift, then demanded he sign the agreement instead. The bride's parents immediately scolded her, but the groom's father, seeing how hard his son worked for this marriage, decided to sign the agreement. At that moment, the man finally realized how ridiculous it was to cut ties with his father for this woman. Just as his father was about to sign, the man realized the wedding was meaningless, and snatched the prenup out of his father's hands.